Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Jesse. In this video we're going to be doing top 10 most annoying things in Animal Crossing New Horizons. And when I mean annoying, it could go from the smallest of things to a very big concern that something that maybe should have been in the game since the very beginning. Example, the diving, but that was already brought to the game back in the summer last year. So before we begin, if you are not already, if you would please subscribe to my channel, also liking and commenting. So yeah, for more Animal Crossing videos like these, there's others on my channels you can check out right now. I'll link it in description. Yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So number 10 is going to be these campsite villagers sometimes that come to your island. And you know, if you've gotten villagers through the campsite, you have to first do the 3 steps. You have to get them, make them a DIY of their choosing. Once you complete it, then you have to go back another day, you know, scan their card, do the task they want, and then after the 3rd one, they'll finally decide to come to your island, which is fine. You know, you want to earn the villager. The issue is when they ask for these random DIYs where you have to find cardboard boxes. I don't know, I don't think I'm the only one that had to find these cardboard boxes for, let's say, Dizzy or Elmer or someone else. Who wants a cardboard bed? A cardboard sofa? Not me, and I don't think any of you, and I don't think why they are using them. But that's besides the point of them wanting to use these items. It's the accessing of these cardboard boxes. The first time I had to do this for someone I really wanted, I was at a loss. I was like, what? I have never seen a cardboard box in the store. I have never found anywhere. So I just thought I was never going to be able to get this villager until I realized that when villagers leave your island, they throw some of their items from their furniture or clothing into the recycle bin at resident services. So if you're smart and you know this is going to happen, that villagers might want these cardboard boxes, you start hoarding them, or you just find one and obviously order it through the catalog. So now we're on to number 9. For me, this is very personal because I used to love the original Animal Crossing on the GameCube, and on that game, albeit very minimal and limited on things you can do compared to this game, the total limit on the villagers that you could have in one town was 15, whereas in New Horizons, like New Leaf, is 10. That is a big difference, and a game that is 20 years later can have less villagers. I feel like that's a shame and is sad, to be honest, because I think a lot of people could speak for this. They would love to have more villagers in their town. So I don't know why Nintendo, they can't just bump that up to 12 at least. Maybe we can get an update where we could have like a little mini island where we can have 2 more villagers on there. Or kind of like in the GameCube game when there was also an island that you could go to, like in New Leaf where they updated that, where you can have a villager that only lives on the island. They can do another little task, have different furniture perhaps. I don't know, just something where we can have more villagers, because yes, I love having the 10 and it keeps it very personal, but the option at least to having more would be greatly appreciated. Alright, on to number 8. Storage limit increase. So I know there's already been an update for this, and I am very appreciative, as are many people, from, 1600 to 2400. So if those of you that don't have 2400 limit, you could get this after you pay off all of your debts, and then you pay, I think, $500,000 to Tom Nook, and then you can get the increase to 2400 inventory slots, which is a lot. But I'm already there, and I think a lot of other people are at that limit. And I try to go once in a while through my stuff and try to throw things out, but somehow I just don't have, I just don't know what to get rid of. I have flowers, I have furniture, I have tons of clothes, but I'm like, but I need this. I can't get rid of it. So I think the only option, obviously, is to just increase that again. So yeah, I think that might just be me, but that's got to be on my list because I am already full. On to number 7. So this is, I feel like maybe could have gone higher, but I'm just going to put it here. This shop, Nook's Cranny, only upgrades once so far in this game. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, in you go in the past few games, this shop upgrades always at least 3 times till you get to Nookington's, which is that 2 or 3 story building, and it usually has a fancy top floor. Sometimes Gracie is up there with her special series, which I'm still waiting for her. But yeah, where is the shop upgrade? It's not gonna just stay at Nook's Cranny. I mean, even if it stays on Nook's Cranny, the name, it's fine. I just need it to be bigger. We need more options, more things to buy, maybe more types of furniture. I mean, I think they could figure something out. Like, it just looks like a simple little shop. And I know some people want like this shop to stay small. That goes better with their aesthetic for their town. But for those of us that, let's say, have a very city town or urban core or something that could look more majestic with like a huge kind of shopping mall styled store, I think we should have that option. So definitely number 7, shop upgrade. All right, on to number 6. So in everyone's island, you have those ramps and bridges that you can build throughout your island. If you did not know, there is a limit on them. You can build up to 8 ramps and 8 bridges. And I don't know if you guys have ever been stuck with this limit, but I definitely have with the ramps. Bridges, not so much. I don't always have a lot of water or rivers on my island that I need to have bridges, especially that you can terraform around and make land bridges anyways. But ramps is a huge must that we have to increase this limit. I even think like a good solution to this could be like, so let's say the total for these 2 is 16, right? Why not have the limit where you could have, let's say, 12 ramps, but 4 bridges, and that total is still 16. You just have to choose where you want to throw your weight onto. And that would be great because I love the ramps. I love having different elevations and you can, have a lot of stairs here and there. But when you're stuck with just 8 ramps, you really can't do too much. You can't have a lot of stuff on the third what's it called? The third layer of your island, or on the first layer. You have to have access to it, and sometimes with 8 ramps, it's not enough. All right, on to number 5. So when you have friends coming over online, there's definitely one thing that is extremely annoying, and I think everybody already knows what I'm gonna say: the loading screens. Yes, I think they're really cutely animated, and I love that you can see your friend's island when you fly over with a little animation with them waving. That's all cute, but it takes way too long. Like, what, 30 to 50 seconds each time? And God forbid you have all of your 7 friends over. You see that screen all the time. And that doesn't help when, let's say, somebody disconnects or someone's internet goes bad or someone quietly leaves because their Switch went to sleep. You got to do that all over again. You could start at 8 p.m. with your friends. You're only going to start playing by 9:30. I don't think that's really fun. And I think Nintendo should have fixed this way before. I don't understand. Like, why can't people still move around the island when someone is flying over? But just once they're landing, you have to stop and then they come in so no interference happens, like a few seconds. But anyways, I'm not a tech person, so let's hope this gets fixed in the future. Come on, Nintendo. All right, number 4. So similar when we're talking about online, this has to do with what to do when your friends are on your island. And this is one of my biggest issues because I love hosting events. I love having friends over. I love doing game nights, and I love making games. So I try to make do with what little we have online. And this is the biggest issue for number 4 here. There is so little to do online with your friends on your islands. Yes, you could run around, you can show each other what you've made. You could, go to the Able Sisters, buy some clothes, buy some stuff at the Tom Nook store. But in terms of actual fun interactivity, there really isn't much. Run around hitting each other with axes. I mean, that's funny, but it's not really much to do. It's not really game implementation. I don't know. I think like adding the warp pipe furniture item with the Mario update was great. I know it wasn't intentional for a game purpose, but I've used it into a game mechanic where you can make a warp pipe maze. And if you want to see me that video, I will link it in the description. It was really fun to make. So yeah, examples like that are things that they could add or put into the game to make it more game focused, you know, like adding the mini games where we had Tortimer's Island and New Leaf. That's one of the biggest updates I really hope Nintendo does for Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 3. So this is one that I remember seeing a lot on the internet, and I'm sure it's still on there. People are complaining about bulk crafting. Where is it? Why do we have to craft one fish bait at a time if you want to go fishing for those dogfish? Why, when you want to, let's say, I don't know, you're trying to make something specific, like, oh yeah, the iron bars, like if you want to make a jail like I've done, you need a lot of those to make those iron bars, and it is not like the animation, fine, it's not terribly long, it's like maybe 4 or 5 seconds, but if you're making like 100 iron bars, that takes up a lot of time, and you're just there like, you know, getting carpal tunnel at the time you're doing that. So I think that's something that I feel like it's a very easy fix, like just, you know, put a little like numerical meter onto like how many would you like to craft, maybe in increments of 10 would be good. You don't have to do like 100, 200 add numbers. So I just feel like a very easy solution. I think Nintendo should have done this months ago, but we'll see. Maybe they'll learn, and maybe by this next direct they're gonna figure it out. Number 2, villager dialogue. So I will say, even though I'm unimpressed with the dialogue in this game, it's definitely for me a little better than New Leafs and some of the previous ones. Nothing is ever going to be as good as it were in the old days with the GameCube and with Wild World. They had the best villager dialogue, and if you don't believe me, I'd highly suggest you go watch some old Animal Crossing gameplay videos on YouTube. They're hilarious. The snooty villagers were really snooty, not so like, you know, vanilla, you know, white bread as they are right now. And the crankies, they would actually yell at you. I just remember laughing. I found it hilarious. I was not one of those kids that would get triggered by someone calling me like an imbecile. Anyways, it was hilarious. But you don't have to be mean to make it the dialogue interesting. And that's just kind of where they're failing here. I just rarely want to talk to the villagers because of what's content. I just talk to them because I love my villagers and I just want to know that I said hi to them, and for maybe they're gonna give me something, whatever. But in terms of like interesting dialogue that I'm actually gonna want to like screenshot it to like put on Instagram, I don't really see it, and it's a shame because I feel like there's so many Animal Crossing fans that could do a million times with this and just put out so many funny dialogue. I mean, there are a few, and I will say the lazies are probably the best with the dialogue in this game, but most of the other personalities are just kind of lacking. Especially the crankies, they feel so bland. I mean, I barely ever want to have a crank on my island because they just talk about like being old and if they left the stove on. Like, I don't care, and why is this funny? It's not. Oh yeah, okay. On to number 1. Alright, so we finally got to the number 1 most annoying thing in Animal Crossing New Horizon. And I think there's been a couple annoying ones that we passed that maybe people thought would have been the number 1. But for me, who has done a lot of terraforming, and I know there are a lot of you that have as well, the most annoying thing is terraforming in this game with the tools that are given. It takes so long to flatten your island or to move something, or just in terms of trying to align a bridge or a ramp somewhere so that it looks symmetrical with your museum. Oh, it's just so, it's such an easy thing they could do, like just have one of those, you know, top down like tools where you can see the whole grid, like a grid layout, and you can move it that way, kind of how Happy Home Designer and now in New Horizons in the house, where you can, you know, move things easily, your furniture, like with, well, not with a stylus, but you know, with your touch, your finger, or you know, just top down view, and not have to just physically, you know, one by one put up a column of earth, or one by one take down a piece of the river. I mean, I remember being so irritated when I had to do this huge huge terraforming map that I did for an island. I was basically doing the whole island was the world map. So could you imagine like carving out continents with your tools in the terraforming, the island designer for Animal Crossing New Horizons? I was actually like wanting to rip my hair out. It was horrible. I eventually did it. It took a long time, but I know there's people out there that have done even crazier like designs and crazier you know, projects. But and I'm sure they'll agree with me in putting it at number 1. But anyways, this was a fun video to make. I am you know, feel like I got a lot of my frustration with this game out, but I will say I still love this game so much, even though I was kind of roasting it for a while. Maybe in the future I'll talk about the 10 greatest parts of Animal Crossing New Horizons that they've definitely improved on throughout the series over the past 20 or so years. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And till the next one, thank you guys. Goodbye.